Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Have you ever found yourself wondering why women, especially as they grow older, seem to face more and more health questions, some of them silent, some of them urgent? Maybe you've sat at the kitchen table with your sister, a close friend, or your daughter, swapping stories about doctor visits, new aches and pains, or that little bit of anxiety that comes with every new symptom. For so many women, the journey through the golden years is filled with moments of joy and strength, but also with real concerns about how the body is changing and what dangers might be lurking just beneath the surface. Today, I want to talk directly to you, whether you're a senior woman yourself or someone who cares deeply for the mothers, grandmothers, aunts, and friends in your life. We're going to shine a light on one of the most overlooked but serious health risks for older women: pulmonary embolism, or PEI for short. It's a condition that rarely makes headlines, but it can change everything in a matter of moments. But here's the surprising truth. Senior women are not only at risk for pulmonary embolism, they may be at even higher risk than their male counterparts. Why is that? Is it hormones? Is it the way women's bodies change after menopause? Or is it the hidden impact of certain medications, surgeries, or even lifestyle choices that add up over a lifetime? Let's pause for a moment and think about all the roles women play: caregivers, homemakers, professionals, friends, partners. Over the years, you've learned to put others first, to keep going even when tired, to brush off minor discomforts for the sake of family or community. But what if those little warning signs, swelling in the legs, unusual breathlessness, or just a sense that something isn't quite right, are actually your body's way of whispering an urgent message? And what if knowing the facts, listening to your instincts, and taking a few small actions could make all the difference between a close call and a crisis? In this video, we'll explore why women over 60 should be especially aware of pulmonary embolism, the causes, the subtle symptoms, and the steps you can take to protect yourself and the women you love. We'll dive into the latest science, but we'll also hear real stories from senior women who listened to their bodies and made it through, and from those who wish they'd paid attention sooner. Because knowledge, in this case, is more than just power, it's peace of mind. It's the freedom to keep doing the things you love, laughing with your grandchildren, walking with friends, and waking up every day with a sense of confidence and calm. So pour yourself a cup of tea, settle in, and let's walk through this journey together, because the more you know, the safer and stronger you can be. Are women more at risk? Let's find out together. Now, as we start to unpack this important topic, let's get to the heart of the matter. Why exactly are senior women at greater risk for pulmonary embolism? It's a question many have never asked, and yet the answer could make a world of My answer could make a world of difference in your life or the life of someone you love. To begin with, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. As women age, the body goes through a series of changes, some of them gradual, some of them almost invisible. After menopause, levels of estrogen, that powerful hormone which once regulated so many aspects of health, begin to drop. You might think, well, that's just a part of getting older, right? And you'd be absolutely right. But here's the catch. While estrogen offers some protection against blood clots during the reproductive years, its decline can actually shift the balance, subtly increasing the risk of clotting for many women as they move into their 60s and 70s. But that's only part of the story. When we look closer, we see that certain common factors stack the odds even further. Many women, for example, take hormone replacement therapy (HRT) to help with the symptoms of menopause: hot flashes, night sweats, mood changes. It's a decision made for comfort and quality of life. But what most don't realize is that HRT can slightly increase the risk of forming blood clots, especially in women who already have other risk factors like obesity, a sedentary lifestyle, or a family history of clots. Let's not forget the realities of aging itself. As we get older, our bodies tend to move less. Maybe it's due to joint pain, fatigue, or the need to recover after surgery or illness. More hours spent sitting at home, in the car. During travel means less blood flowing steadily through the veins, especially in the legs. And when blood slows down, it's more likely to pool, thicken, and form a clot that can break off and travel. To the lungs, there are even more hidden layers. Did you know that women are more likely than men to have certain surgeries in later life, such as joint replacements, hip repairs, or cancer treatments? Each of these procedures, while life-saving, in their own way, can temporarily boost the risk of blood clots. Recovery often involves long stretches of rest, which can set the stage for trouble if precautions aren't taken. But perhaps the most subtle, and most important, risk is that women often downplay their symptoms. Decades of caring for others, putting children, partners, and friends first can make it hard to recognize when something's wrong or to ask for help when you need it. You might think, "Oh, I'm just tired," or "It's just a little swelling," and brush off the signs that your body is quietly sending. Let's bring this to life with a story. Imagine Mary, a 72-year-old grandmother who loved baking for her family and never missed her weekly bingo night. After a long flight to visit her daughter, she noticed her right calf was a little swollen and sore. She figured it was just the travel, and besides, she didn't want to worry her family. But 2 days later, she found herself short of breath and dizzy, classic signs of a pulmonary embolism. Luckily, her daughter insisted they go to the ER, and Mary got the treatment she needed in time. Mary's story is not uncommon. So many women think they have to be strong, to tough it out, to keep going for everyone else. But strength also means listening to your body, speaking up, and making your health a priority. So as we move through this video, keep this in mind. It's not about blame or fear or regret. It's about understanding the real risks, the reasons behind them, and the ways you can turn knowledge into protection. Because every woman deserves to live her later years with health, independence, and peace of mind. Let's keep going, because up next, we'll talk about the early signs and symptoms that every woman should watch for, and the simple steps you can take to lower your risk, starting right now. Stay with me. Now that we've uncovered why senior women are uniquely at risk for pulmonary embolism, let's turn to a question that is even more critical. How can you actually recognize the warning signs before it's too late? You see, one of the greatest challenges, especially for women, is that the body rarely shouts when something is wrong. More often, it whispers, sending out tiny clues that are easy to miss or brush aside in the busy flow of daily life. Let's imagine a typical day. Maybe you wake up feeling a little more tired than usual, but you chalk it up to a restless night or a busy week. Perhaps your calf feels slightly tight, or you notice some swelling in your ankle as you're making your morning coffee. Or you find yourself pausing halfway up the stairs just to catch your breath, but you quickly move on, telling yourself, "It's just age catching up with me." It's natural, almost automatic, to dismiss these changes, especially when so many other things demand your attention. But here's the truth. These little things can be your body's way of sending a gentle SOS. For women, these signs can be even more subtle. Why? Because women are often more likely to attribute discomfort or pain to something else: a sore muscle, a bit of indigestion, or simple fatigue. We've learned over years of experience to push through, to care for others first, and sometimes to ignore the signals that our own health needs attention. So, what should you be looking for? Let's walk through the key signs together. First and foremost, unexplained shortness of breath. You notice you're getting winded doing things that never used to bother you, like walking from room to room, climbing a few stairs, or even talking on the phone. Don't brush it off, especially if it's sudden, persistent, or doesn't improve with rest. Pay attention. Remember, The lungs are where a pulmonary embolism strikes, blocking oxygen and making every breath a little bit harder. Next, let's talk about leg symptoms. One leg, usually the calf or thigh, may become swollen, warm to the touch, or slightly reddish. The discomfort might be mild, a dull ache, a heaviness, a sense that something is just off. It's easy to think you pulled a muscle or that it's just arthritis acting up, but this kind of swelling, especially if it comes on quickly or doesn't match the other leg, deserves a closer look. Then there's chest discomfort. Pulmonary embolism doesn't always cause sharp, dramatic chest pain. Sometimes it feels like pressure, tightness, or even a strange fullness, especially when you breathe deeply, cough, or bend over. If this is new or different for you, don't wait to see if it goes away. Another sign is a persistent cough, which may or may not bring up blood. It could seem like allergies or a leftover from a cold, but if it lingers or is accompanied by breathlessness or chest pain, it's time to call your doctor. And don't overlook unusual fatigue, lightheadedness, or fainting spells. Sometimes, a pulmonary embolism starves your body of oxygen so gradually that all you feel is a tiredness that doesn't make sense, or a dizzy spell when you stand up. If you ever faint, especially if you have any other risk factors, don't ignore it. Let's pause for a moment and consider the power of listening to your own body, to the changes you notice, and to your intuition. You know yourself better than anyone. If something feels wrong, even if you can't quite put it into words, trust that inner wisdom. It's always better to ask, to check, to be sure, than to regret missing the signs. I want to share a story that illustrates this perfectly. Imagine Joan, a retired school teacher in her 70s. She always prided herself on being active, but one week she noticed she was getting winded during her morning walks. Her daughter encouraged her to see the doctor, and tests revealed a blood clot in her lung caught early enough for treatment. Joan's story isn't unique, but it shows the power of paying attention and acting quickly. So, as we move forward, let's hold on to this truth. Not every ache is just age. Not every change is nothing to worry about. As women, our bodies are wise, and so are we. Listening to your body, sharing your concerns, and seeking help when something feels off are acts of courage, strength, and self-care. In our next segment, we'll dive into practical steps for prevention, ways to lower your risk, stay active, and protect your health one day at a time. Because knowledge, action, and a supportive community can make all the difference. Stay with me. Your health is worth every moment of attention you give it. Now that we've peeled back the curtain on the subtle warning signs, let's shift our focus to something just as vital, and maybe even more empowering: prevention. Because while pulmonary embolism can sound frightening, the truth is, there's so much within your control. Every day brings opportunities to protect yourself, to stay active, and to write a story of health and vitality in your golden years. So, how can you lower your risk, starting right now? Let's break it down together, step by simple step. First, let's talk about movement. The human body was built to move, and even gentle, regular activity helps keep blood flowing smoothly. Think about it. Every time you flex your ankles, take a stroll around your living room, or stretch your legs, you're giving your veins a little boost. If you're able, aim to stand up, stretch, or walk for a few minutes every hour, especially during long periods of sitting, whether it's on a long flight, a car ride, or even a TV marathon. No step is too small. Every bit of motion is a deposit in your health bank account. But what if you have mobility issues or use a walker? That's okay. Seated exercises, gentle ankle circles, or even wiggling your toes while you watch TV all make a difference. If you've just had surgery, work with your healthcare team to find safe ways to get moving as soon as possible. Recovery is a journey, but motion is the medicine. Now, let's talk about hydration. Water isn't just for quenching thirst, it's the lifeblood of healthy circulation. Seniors are more prone to dehydration, often because the sense of thirst fades with age. Make it a habit to sip water throughout the day, even if you don't feel thirsty. Herbal teas, brothy soups, and water-rich fruits like melon or oranges can all help. When you're well hydrated, your blood flows more freely, making clots less likely to form. Next up, compression stockings. These aren't just for hospital stays. If your doctor recommends them, especially after surgery or before a long journey. Wearing properly fitted compression socks can gently squeeze your legs and keep blood moving upward. They might not be glamorous, but they are a powerful tool in your prevention toolkit. And speaking of travel, don't let fear of blood clots keep you from enjoying adventures. Instead, travel smart. On long flights or road trips, set a timer to remind you to get up and walk the aisle or stop at a rest area. While seated, try ankle pumps or calf stretches every half hour. Avoid crossing your legs for too long. And remember, drinking water, not just coffee or alcohol, is your best friend on the journey. What about medications? This is where communication with your doctor is so important. Certain medicines, like hormone therapies or some cancer drugs, can raise clot risk. Always review your medications at regular checkups, especially after any hospital stay or surgery. If you've had a blood clot before, or if your doctor prescribes a blood thinner, take it exactly as directed, never skip doses, and be sure to ask questions if anything seems unclear. Let's not forget the role of lifestyle habits. If you smoke, know that quitting is one of the most powerful things you can do for your vascular health. If you enjoy a glass of wine now and then, do so in moderation and focus more on hydration. And if you have conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, work with your healthcare team to keep them well controlled. And perhaps most importantly, share your journey with others. Talk with friends, neighbors, or family members about what you've learned. Sometimes we need reminders from loved ones to take a walk or drink more water. Support and encouragement go both ways by helping each other. You build a circle of protection that reaches far beyond yourself. Remember, prevention is not about making huge, overwhelming changes. It's about weaving little habits into your everyday routine. One step, one glass of water, one friendly conversation at a time. Over the weeks and months, these choices add up to a stronger, safer, and more joyful life. So, as we prepare to wrap up, take a moment to pat yourself on the back. By learning about pulmonary embolism, by noticing your body's signals, and by making small, positive changes, you are not only protecting yourself, you are inspiring others. In our final segment, we'll bring everything together, offering encouragement for the road ahead and simple reminders to keep you feeling confident and empowered. Stay tuned. And remember, your health is a journey, not a destination. Every day, every choice, every step counts. As we move forward on this journey together, it's important to remember that no one is alone in facing these challenges. In fact, some of the most powerful lessons come not from textbooks or doctors, but from the real experiences of people. Just like you seniors who've walked this path, learned from their trials, and come out stronger, wiser, and often eager to share what they've learned so others might avoid similar hardships. Let's begin with Tom's story. Tom is 76, a retired teacher with a sharp wit and a fondness for crossword puzzles. He'd always been healthy, rarely missing a morning walk. But last year, after a minor surgery, his doctor advised him to rest more and take it easy. Tom took this advice to heart, spending weeks on the couch, reading and napping only, getting up for meals and the occasional trip to the mailbox. At first, it felt like a well-deserved break. But after about 10 days, Tom started to notice something different. A heavy feeling in his right calf, a bit of swelling, and a warmth that didn't quite make sense. He shrugged it off, blaming the weather and his age. But when he found himself Short of breath after a short walk to the kitchen, he knew something wasn't right. His daughter insisted on taking him to the ER, where doctors quickly discovered a blood clot in his leg that had already sent a small piece to his lung, a pulmonary embolism. With quick treatment, Tom recovered fully, but he now tells everyone, listen to your body. Rest is good, but movement is essential no matter your age. Tom's story is powerful, but he's not alone. There's also Maria, age 81, who loved nothing more than planning family get-togethers. Before a long-awaited cruise with her children and grandchildren, she researched ways to stay healthy on the ship. She packed comfortable shoes, her favorite, sun hat, and following her doctor's advice, a pair of compression socks. On the ship, she made a game of walking the deck every hour and drinking plenty of water, even when she wasn't thirsty. While some friends teased her, she felt stronger and more energetic than she had in years. When another passenger her age had to be rushed to the ship's infirmary with a sudden blood clot, Maria felt grateful for her preparation. She now encourages others to make prevention part of every adventure, big or small, or consider the quieter. Lessons from people like Bill, 74, who lives alone and enjoys watching classic films in his favorite recliner. After hearing a health talk at his local senior center about the risks of sitting too long, Bill set an alarm to remind himself to stand and stretch every hour, even if it meant pausing his favorite scenes. He also invited a neighbor to join him for evening walks, turning what could have been lonely time into connection and laughter. Bill says he feels more energized and less stiff, and his new habits have sparked conversations among his friends about how to stay healthy as they age. These stories highlight something important. Knowledge is only the first step. Taking action, even small ones, can change everything. Whether it's deciding to walk a little more, drink that extra glass of water, or share what you've learned with a friend, you are investing in your health and inspiring those around you. Sometimes it's the gentle reminders from those who've lived through these challenges that help us remember. Life is too precious to spend waiting for trouble. Instead, we can choose to move, to reach out, and to enjoy each moment with a little more confidence and peace of mind. So as you think about your own routines, or those of someone you care about, ask yourself, what small change could make a big difference today? Maybe it's starting a walking group, keeping a water bottle handy, or simply listening more closely to your body's signals. Remember, every story you hear, every tip you try, and every conversation you have adds another layer of protection, not just for you, but for your entire community. Let these real-life stories remind us all. We have the power to make choices that keep us safer, healthier, and more connected. Your journey doesn't have to be solitary. Reach out, stay curious, and take every opportunity to turn knowledge into action. Because sometimes the best wisdom is the wisdom we share and the lives we touch along the way. Now that we've heard these real-life stories and learned just how important it is to pay attention to the subtle signals our bodies send, let's turn our focus to something even more empowering: prevention. Because if there's one message I want you to take away from today, it's that prevention isn't complicated or out of reach. It's about small, steady actions woven into your daily life that add up to big protection for your health. So what are these practical habits, and how can you make them a natural part of your routine? Let's start with something everyone can do. Movement. I can't emphasize enough how powerful simple movement is for your well-being. And here's the best part: it doesn't require gym memberships or fancy equipment. It can be as easy as standing up every hour, even if it's just to stretch. Shake out your legs, or walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. If you're watching television, use the commercial breaks as your reminder to stand and march in place or roll your ankles. If you're reading, set a gentle timer every 45 minutes to get up, even just to look out the window or walk around the room. Your muscles act as little pumps that help move blood back to your heart, keeping everything flowing smoothly and reducing the risk of clots. Hydration is another unsung hero in the fight against blood clots. Many people don't realize that even mild dehydration can make your blood thicker and more likely to clot. Seniors, in particular, often lose their natural sense of thirst. So it's important to drink water regularly even when you're not thirsty. Keep a favorite mug or bottle within arm's reach and get creative if plain water doesn't appeal to you. Add a slice of lemon, cucumber, or even a splash of fruit juice for flavor. Herbal teas and broths also count toward your fluid intake. Remember, staying hydrated isn't just about comfort. It's a key step in keeping your blood flowing freely and safely. Let's talk about travel and long periods of rest. For those who love to explore or often find themselves sitting for extended stretches on flights, in cars, or even at family gatherings, preparation is your best friend. Before you set off on any trip, make a plan to move your legs every hour. Set reminders on your phone or use the movement of the sun as your cue to get up and stroll, even if it's just a few steps. Consider wearing compression stockings, especially for longer journeys, as these can help your veins do their job and prevent blood from pooling. And, of course, make water your constant travel companion. At home, you can create a routine that fits your lifestyle and energy level. Start your mornings with a few gentle stretches while still in bed. Pair every cup of coffee or tea with a few ankle circles. Invite a friend or neighbor for a short walk after lunch. Sometimes, company makes all the difference. And if you have mobility challenges, don't worry. Even seated exercises, like lifting your heels and toes, can help stimulate circulation. It's also wise to talk to your healthcare team about your personal risk factors. If you've recently had surgery, been ill, or have a family history of blood clots, your doctor may recommend medication, regular checkups, or specific lifestyle adjustments. Don't hesitate to ask questions or bring up any symptoms, no matter how small. Your health is a partnership, and your voice matters. Prevention isn't just about what you do for yourself. It's about inspiring those around you. Maybe you have a loved one who spends lots of time at home, or a friend recovering from an illness. Share what you've learned. Offer gentle reminders to move, drink water, and watch for signs of trouble. Sometimes a single conversation can set someone on a new, healthier path. And remember, change doesn't happen overnight. Building new habits takes time, patience, and plenty of encouragement. Celebrate every step, no matter how small. Each walk, each glass of water, each stretch is an act of self-care, a promise to yourself that you're choosing health, vitality, and independence. So as we close this segment, ask yourself, what's one simple thing I can do today to protect myself from hidden dangers like blood clots? Maybe it's taking an extra walk, refilling your water glass, or calling a friend to check in. Whatever you choose, know that you're making a difference, not just for yourself, but for everyone who cares about you. Let's carry these lessons into our daily lives, one step at a time, building a future where health and happiness go hand in hand. Your journey matters, and every small action you take is a victory worth celebrating. As we move forward, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by health advice or discouraged if progress seems slow. Maybe you've started to build new habits, taking those extra steps, reaching for that water bottle more often, or gently stretching throughout the day. And yet, there are days when you wonder, is it making a difference? Is all this effort worth it? Let's pause here, because recognizing your progress is just as important as the changes themselves. Every step toward prevention is a win, no matter how small it seems at the moment. If you've stood up during a commercial break, or if you've poured yourself an extra glass of water, or simply remembered to shift your legs on a long car ride, you are already making meaningful choices that support your health. These acts aren't insignificant. They are proof of your commitment, your care for yourself, and your determination to enjoy life to its fullest every single day. But how do you keep that motivation alive, especially when results aren't always obvious? Start by celebrating the everyday victories. Did you manage to stand up every hour today? That's fantastic. Maybe you convinced a friend or family member to join you on a walk. That's even better, because now you're spreading positivity and creating a ripple effect of wellness. Remember, each time you prioritize movement or hydration, you're not only protecting yourself from the hidden risks of blood clots, but you're also nurturing your heart, your mind, and your mood. It can help to keep a simple journal, jotting down what you did each day that made you feel good or strong. Over time, these little notes become a story of resilience, a personal record that you can look back on when you need encouragement. And if you ever feel stuck or tired, revisit your journal to remind yourself how far you've come. Another way to stay motivated is to connect your habits to the moments and people you cherish. Think of your morning stretches not just as exercise, but as your ticket to more energy for playing with grandchildren. See that glass of water as a way to enjoy another year of gardening or a stroll to the park. These habits are not chores. They are building blocks of the joyful, independent life you want to keep living. And don't underestimate the power of community. If you belong to a senior center, church group, or even an online forum, share your experiences. Talk about your goals, your setbacks, your breakthroughs. You'll be surprised how many people are on the same journey, ready to encourage you and eager to learn from you. 2. If you live alone or far from family, consider setting up a daily check-in with a friend. A simple phone call or text can remind both of you to move, hydrate, and notice how you're feeling. Sometimes, knowing that someone else cares about your well-being is all the motivation you need to keep going. Even on the hardest days. Let's also acknowledge the setbacks, because they happen to everyone. Maybe you had a day when you barely moved or forgot to drink enough water. Don't let guilt or frustration take over. Every day is a new chance to start again, and every effort, no matter how small, counts toward your long-term health. It's also helpful to set small, specific goals that fit your life and your interests. Maybe this week you'll stand up and stretch during each commercial break. Next week, perhaps you'll invite a neighbor for a walk around the block. Over time, these small steps add up, making you stronger and more resilient, even if you don't notice the changes right away. Above all, keep your focus on what truly matters: living fully, staying connected, and protecting your ability to enjoy the people, places, and activities you love. When you care for your body, you're investing in more laughter, more adventures, and more special moments that make life worth living. So, as we bring this segment to a close, take a moment to appreciate every choice you've made for your well-being. Give yourself credit for every stretch, every sip of water, every bit of movement. These aren't just habits, they're the foundation of a life lived with joy and confidence. Stay motivated, stay proud, and know that each small act brings you one step closer to a healthier, happier tomorrow. Now, as we reflect on all the small, meaningful steps you can take to protect yourself from the silent dangers of blood clots and pulmonary embolism, let's widen the lens a little further. Because the truth is, health is never a solo journey. No matter our age or circumstances, we all need support, encouragement, and sometimes just a gentle nudge from those around us. That's why building a circle of support is such a powerful part of staying healthy and resilient, especially as we grow older. Think for a moment about the people who fill your life with meaning, maybe your family, close friends, neighbors, or even the friendly faces you greet during a daily walk. Each of these connections holds the potential to uplift you and keep you accountable, just as you can do for them. When it comes to health, this sense of community is not only comforting, it can be life-changing. So, how can you turn your personal wellness journey into a shared mission, one that benefits everyone you care about? The answer is surprisingly simple. Start by talking about what you're learning. After watching this video, share a fact or two with your loved ones, perhaps over dinner, during a phone call, or even while waiting at the doctor's office. Mention how sitting too long can raise the risk of blood clots, or tell a story you've heard today. Knowledge spreads quickly, and you might just save someone else from a health scare down the line. Another powerful step is to invite others to join you in your healthy habits. Instead of making movement or hydration feel like a solo chore, make it social. Organize a walk and talk group with friends. Set up a water drinking challenge with your grandchildren, or plan regular stretch breaks with your partner during long movies. When healthy actions are woven into your social life, they become much easier and a lot more fun to maintain. And let's not forget about those who may be more isolated or vulnerable, perhaps an elderly neighbor living alone or a friend recovering from illness or surgery. Reach out with a simple gesture. Offer to join them for a short stroll, remind them to drink more water, or check in with a quick phone call. Sometimes, just knowing someone else cares can make all the difference. Not only for physical health, but also for mental and emotional well-being. As you strengthen your own circle of support, you also become a role model. Your willingness to speak openly about the risks of inactivity and the importance of small daily habits can inspire others to follow your example. In time, this ripple effect can touch entire families, neighborhoods, or even communities. Imagine the impact if every senior in your circle shared what they know, supported each other, and watched out for subtle health changes. What a safer, healthier, and more connected world we could build together. But what about those days when motivation is low, or when fear and doubt creep in? This is when your circle matters most. Don't be afraid to lean on others, to ask for encouragement, or to voice your worries. Sometimes, admitting that you're struggling is the bravest step you can take, and it often opens the door for someone else to say, "I feel that way too." Technology can help bridge the gap, too. If you're comfortable with a smartphone or computer, join an online group for seniors. Subscribe to health newsletters or follow supportive social media pages. There, you'll find people sharing tips, celebrating wins, and reminding each other to keep moving forward no matter the surge. Let's also encourage younger generations to be part of this circle. Teach your children and grandchildren what you've learned about pulmonary embolism and the importance of moving every day. By modeling healthy behaviors, you're giving them tools that will serve them for life. As we come to the end of this segment, remember that every journey is easier and more joyful with companions by your side. Don't underestimate the value of a kind word, a shared walk, or a reminder to stay hydrated. Together, you can build a circle of support that not only protects your health, but also brightens your days and strengthens your bonds. So take this first step. Reach out, share your story, invite others in, and know that with every connection, you are making a difference, not just for yourself, but for everyone who walks this path with you. As we arrive at the close of this important conversation, I want to take a moment with you not to rush, not to list off reminders, but to really reflect on what we've shared and what it means for your life going forward. Because every journey, every lesson, and every small new habit has the power to shape not just your health, but also your happiness and sense of possibility no matter your age. Let's look back for just a moment. We've uncovered the silent risks of inactivity and long periods of sitting, especially for seniors. We've talked about pulmonary embolism not just as a scary medical term, but as a real preventable danger that can hide behind everyday routines, travel, and moments of well-deserved rest. We've heard real stories of people who faced these risks, learned from them, and came out stronger. We've explored practical tips for staying active, hydrated, and mindful, even in the smallest ways. And we've seen how a little knowledge can go a long way in protecting not just your body, but your independence and joy. And perhaps most importantly, we've talked about the incredible strength that comes from community, whether it's family, friends, neighbors, or a circle of new companions you find along the way. You are never alone in this journey. Every small step you take, every healthy habit you build, every question you ask, these are acts of self-care, but they're also gifts to those around you. You become a beacon, lighting the way for others who may not yet realize how much their own choices can matter. Now, before we part ways today, I invite you to take what you've learned and turn it into action, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. Start with just one thing. Stand up and stretch during the next commercial break. Pour yourself a glass of water, or call a friend for a quick walk or chat. Maybe you'll decide to share this video with someone you care about, a family member, a travel buddy, or a neighbor who spends a lot of time at home. You never know who might need this gentle reminder or this encouragement to listen more closely to their own body. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, if the risks, the symptoms, or the lifestyle changes seem daunting, remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Progress is made through tiny, daily decisions. Celebrate each time you stand, move, or make a healthier choice. Forgive yourself on the days when it's harder, and just keep going. Health, after all, is a lifelong adventure. Also, never underestimate the power of asking for help or sharing your story. Whether you leave a comment here, talk to your doctor, or open up to your family, you may inspire someone else to pay closer attention to their health or even help save a life. This is how communities are built, one honest conversation at a time. As we close, I want to thank you not just for watching or listening, but for choosing to be an active participant in your own health journey. Your curiosity, your courage to learn, and your willingness to change are the greatest gifts you can give yourself and those you love. Every year, every milestone, every new experience is worth protecting and savoring. So here's my final wish for you today. Stay hopeful, stay engaged, and keep moving no matter how small the steps may feel. Let each day bring new opportunities for health and joy. Trust your instincts, cherish your body's signals. And remember that age is not a barrier, it's a badge of experience and wisdom. If you found value in this conversation, please consider subscribing, liking, or sharing the video so we can continue to grow a community of strong, proactive seniors. Drop a comment below and tell us what small change will you start with today. How do you keep moving, even when life gets busy or routines change? Your ideas could be the inspiration someone else is searching for. Thank you for being here, for listening, for caring about your health, and for being part of a movement where every step, every sip of water, every shared word makes a difference. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep reaching for new adventures, and remember, your best years can still be ahead. Here's to your health, your independence, and to the vibrant life you deserve. Stay strong, stay curious, and I'll see you on the next journey together.